If you thought Will.i.am's music career was wild, mixing electronic beats, hip-hop, and futuristic vibes, then wait until you see his garage, which includes a Mercedes looking like it should be on Blade Runner. From tricking out a Tesla to owning a literal Delorean, let's explore his garage. Number 1. The Will.i.am. There is literally no better way to kick off our tour than with this guy. You might find it hard to fully grasp just how far Will.i.am can go with his little modifications, but this ride should paint a very vivid picture. A 1959 Chevy Corvette, which he nicknamed Will.i.am. And yep, that cool nicknaming goes on throughout his collection. What you're looking at is a classic Corvette, but if it went full cyborg. The 59 Vette has always been a reputable classic, but the 2011 film The Rum Diary increased its popularity even further, and it caught Will's interest. As mentioned by Daily Mail, the rapper went above and beyond to track down this vehicle and have it featured in his Getting Over You video in 2010. As much as he loved having this guy, the Vette was still missing something: the Will.i.am touch. So, a year later, West Coast Customs tweaked and made a couple of changes. What you're now looking at is an old Corvette body on a whole new drivetrain and chassis, still updated with recent tech, including an iPad in its center console. Will.i.am still did his best to retain all the exterior features to make the Vette iconic. For the most part, the Will.i.am retains many of the same lines while keeping the bright red color scheme on its body with white highlights for the Covs, wide body flares, and enough LED lights to rival a night out in Las Vegas. Its front end was completely modified. The interior reupholstered from a 2008 Vette C6. This bad boy is a whole new ride, really. The funny thing though is that all these tune-ups still didn't get to this beauty's core. Underneath, the Will.i.am keeps the original LS3 4.6-liter V8 engine. This hunk of metal bangs out 270 horsepower and 285 pound-feet of torque, pushing it to a top speed of 128 miles per hour, with a 0 to 60 time of 7 seconds. Yeah, Will.i.am doesn't want to go fast, he just wants to turn heads. With all the work he's done on this Vette, he doesn't miss a chance to take it out for a spin around the streets of West Hollywood. While these customizations take the Vette to a whole new level, it's still far from the futuristic look our finale has. You want to find out how far Will's going to take his tune-ups? Then kick your feet up and enjoy the ride. Number 2. The Volkswagen Beetle. Will.i.am has a thing for making things weird look cool. And what could possibly be weirder than this tiny guy? A Volkswagen Beetle? Not much, is there? Well, Will.i.am's Beetle, however, is far from your usual grandma's bug. Nope, this bad boy is a Frankenstein mashup of vintage charm and futuristic madness. A Frankenstein mashup he went on to nickname the Monster. Told you the nicknames will keep coming. In a million years, you'd never think that a car named the Monster started off as a Volkswagen Beetle. And as a bonus, the story attached to this beauty is even wilder than the Will.i.am's. Apparently, the rapper took this 58 Volkswagen Beetle to Austin Weiss at the garage in Florida. He first wanted them to build a SoCal Speedster, powered by a twin-turbocharged flat 6. Just some weeks into the build, Will completely changed his mind and told Weiss that he wanted something crazy futuristic, something totally different from the initial plan. Weiss, as you'd expect, went along with that and even dropped a supercharged LS3 engine in front instead of the rear, but Will wanted more. In fact, he continued changing his mind until all that was left of the original Beetle was its hood. Why was Will.i.am so bent out of shape about this guy? Because he was performing at the Super Bowl in 2011, and his little monster was going to make an appearance. Unfortunately, that wasn't meant to happen. Perfection takes time, so he ended up shipping it out to West Coast Customs again, where he got his Vette done. It took 2 whole years before the monster was completed. And with that much time put into this guy, this Beetle came out a totally new, mind-blowing ride. A Beetle from the future. Come take a look at this beauty. Elongated fenders with lots of chrome venting? Check. A massive front grille? Double check. Suicide doors? Triple mind-boggling check. And for the real shocker here, what appears to be an extremely little interior room. How do you even make a cockpit smaller than a 1958 Volkswagen Bug? The monster has an unbelievable price tag around $1 million. But with all the work done and time spent, it totally could be a lot more. Under its hood, Will.i.am actually installed an LS3 supercharged engine. Unfortunately, we don't have a clue how fast this baby goes, or how much power it's got packing. But one thing's certain, the monster definitely packs a lot more than the original Beetle. Will.i.am claims he built this beauty to inspire kids to take up an interest in math and engineering. Well, mission accomplished if engineering means turning a Beetle into a spaceship. And the customizations keep on coming. Number 3. 2015 Lexus NX200T F Sport. In a nutshell, Will.i.am's garage is unlike any other celebrities. Like, come on, what other celebrity has a Lexus sitting in their garage? But that's the thing. this isn't just any Lexus. This is an NX 200T F Sport, and as a cherry on top, this is Will.i.am's version. This beauty has been tricked out, customized, and is now dripping in style, the kind that very few cars will be able to replicate. In fact, the Japanese automaker actually teamed up with the Black Eyed Peas frontman to create something absolutely unique. But I bet you already knew that. It's been the trend in Will's garage so far. Now, the big question, what did the rapper have done on this bad boy? For starters, this guy looks quite subtle, sleek matte black and a pearl white paint job. However, don't let the classy exterior get the better of you. The NX 200T was customized with a wide body kit, giving the SUV a more muscular look, which in turn makes it more aggressive than the standard NX. Will's NX also features black tinted windows and massive wheels. How massive? We're talking 22-inch matte black alloys sitting just perfectly in those widened wheel wells. It also got bright orange brake calipers that all added to its look. And as you know, these modifications don't just stop outside. Stepping into the NX 200T, you're met with pure luxury. Will.i.am himself chose soft Nappa leather for its seats, each one embroidered by hand with his Willpower logo. In addition, its monochrome color scheme keeps it classy, with brushed aluminum floor mats. This beauty has some serious innovations you're not going to see elsewhere. It's not all aesthetics, you know. Built-in 180-degree cameras on all sides allow for panoramic pictures and videos even while you drive. And yes, this footage can be sent straight to your phone via Bluetooth. Your personal camera on wheels. That's going to be a hard one to beat. At its core, Will.i.am's NX is rocking a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 engine, unleashing an impressive 235 horsepower and 285 pound-feet of torque. This engine, paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission, allows the SUV to sprint from 0 to 60 in just 7 seconds, another constant in Will's garage. Clocking out at a top speed of just 124 miles per hour, the NX is so not a hype car. What this guy gives you is luxury and a good drive. Now wondering why Will went out of his way to trick this guy out? Well, that's because he needed to show up at the 2014 Paris Fashion Week. And yep, he did just that. Number 4. Tesla Model S. Every celebrity has that one moment where they'd want to produce the holes they're burning into the ozone layer and go electric, even Will. So he got himself this beauty, a Tesla Model S. But you just know he wasn't going to cruise around in a stock Tesla like the rest of the world. Nope, too vanilla for Will.i.am. So he did what no other person would. He went all in and tricked out this beauty, turning an already futuristic ride into something Tony Stark would create. There's a whole lot to get into here. First off, the wide body kit on the Model S is quite massive. What we're looking at here is an extra 6-inch on both sides, making this subtle guy way more aggressive than what Elon Musk intended. The cutout in its wide body kit is totally filled with a glossy black insert, adding a lot more depth to its extreme design. Moving on, its front end is completely reworked. However, this guy's headlights and hood did it for Will, so he let them stay. Everything else, though, gotta go. His Model S features this huge black grille structure in front that gives it a whole new smiling structure. We've got the Steve Harvey of Teslas over here. And if all these weren't already wild enough, the Black Eyed Peas frontman kept on going. The doors of this beauty, thanks to Will's vision, now feature suicide hinges, taking it from sleek eco-warrior to cyberpunk escape vehicle. Yeah, he might have gone overboard with this guy. Its wheels, deep dish rimless alloy designs finished in black, which is quite surprising considering he's been a lot more extra than he normally is. Now, the Model S doesn't even look like a Tesla anymore. The only possible giveaway is its curved rear glass. Even its taillights were replaced with solid red units, a whole new identity. As for the interior of this bad boy, major shocker here, no one has a clue. This thing's windows have been tinted so heavily that from the inside, you probably won't be able to tell if it's day or night. No doubt that Tesla purists just might have an axe to grind with Will.i.am for all he's done on this guy. But it's a really wild ride, and you've just got to take the good with the bad. The rapper's modifications are restricted to its exteriors. The Model S's electric powertrain remains untouched. This guy still sports a 670 horsepower dual motors, allowing it to hit a top speed of 155 miles per hour and go from 0 to 60 in a little over 3 seconds. The best top speed and acceleration time yet in Will's garage. There just might be more to the powertrain on this bad boy, but I guess we'll never know. There's also a bit of a tragic story behind Will's Model S. Apparently, he built it for his charity I.am Auto, but it failed to sell. The world just wasn't ready for a Tesla that moonlights as a Batmobile. There was a whole lot to unpack there, and that trend continues. Number 5. The Delorean. No, your eyes are certainly not playing tricks on you. That's an actual Delorean DMC-12, but with a neat little twist. This guy has been completely Will.i.amified into what is now the Delorean. Yep, the nicknames are back. As usual, there's a backstory with this guy. Back in January 2012, the rapper appeared on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno and announced that he would be starting a car company called I.am Auto in the East LA neighborhood right where he grew up. He revealed that the first original custom-designed car would even use OEM parts from Chrysler, and showed an image of a white concept vehicle with gull-wing doors, lines reminiscent of an actual DeLorean, if you squint a bit. Well, turns out there's absolutely nothing original about this ride. The entire time, it was a highly customized DeLorean created by West Coast Customs in California, a company you're quite familiar with now because Will has used them a couple of times for his custom rides. So, the million-dollar question: how did the rapper turn the DeLorean into the Will.i.am? The usual, actually. A wide body, modifying every square inch of this beauty's body to make it a lot more aggressive. He obviously didn't stop there. The West Coast Customs adds a bunch of air vents, slaps on 20-inch wheels, and changes its core. But before we go into all that, let's step into the cockpit of this DeLorean. Owner of West Coast Customs said the rapper initially brought in a DMC-12 for some light interior work, but ended up giving it a full-on transformation into what one would look like if it were manufactured in 2025. The rapper wanted a mix of retro and modern on this guy's inside, so he went with leather upholstery, wooden doors, and stainless steel trim. He even added an iPad to its dashboard. And all this wasn't done cheap, too. According to the man himself, Will, the entire customization cost a whopping $700,000. Now, back to its core. The Where's the Love singer dropped in a GM LS3 E-Rod V8 engine. That means a deafening 6.2 liters of American muscle, churning out up to 430 horsepower and 425 pound-feet of torque, a major upgrade over the DeLorean original weak V6. However, sadly, we still can't tell you anything about how fast this beauty can go. If only all the zaniness around this car had stopped there. In 2012, Will was actually pulled over by LA police because of his Will.i.am didn't have a license plate. They even went as far as impounding this bad boy. Some months later, his DeLorean was back on the headlines when he blasted on social media that the ride was stolen. Conveniently, it was quickly found by none other than West Coast Customs. Remember, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Well, that's all on his DeLorean, and now it's time to look at Will.i.am's magnum opus, his most mind-blowing and recent customization, the end of our tour. Number 6. 2022 Mercedes AMG GT. Will.i.am has always had a thing for the Mercedes brand right from its humble beginning days. Now, it was time to make it a reality for a noble cause. That's where the 2022 Mercedes AMG GT comes in, but it does so with a big twist. The German automotive brand literally worked hand in hand with Will.i.am to transform an AMG GT into a bold one-off Will.i.AMG. These nicknames just keep getting better and better. One thing's for sure, the whole custom build thing isn't everyone's cup of tea, but that's pretty much who Will is in a nutshell. So let's find out what's up with this bad boy. For starters, this entire creation was one big collaboration with Mercedes-AMG to spearhead Will's latest noble work called the Flip Innovation for a Purpose. This cause intends to provide access to science, technology, engineering, arts, and math education to struggling teens from disadvantaged communities. So yeah, the Will.i.AMG is literally equal parts questionable and noble. Now back to all that the rapper has done on this four-door coupe. West Coast Customs made yet another cameo, as they were behind the customizations. Its front fascia has been heavily modified in the guise of a G-Class. Pretty weird though, because the whole G-Class look doesn't look pretty on this sports coupe. The boxy layout and round headlamps don't sit well with the AMG GT's curvy design. But hey, it's Will.i.am, and he just somehow makes it work. The Will.i.AMG's exterior also has a subtle throwback design that is a bit like the legendary Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG, with these chunky vents on its hood. This guy's side profile is a real head-scratcher as the boxy design in front slowly fades into a sleek and sporty rear section. And this is also highlighted by a huge monoblock wheel that, for whatever reason, reminds us of the Mercedes Maybach S-Class. The interior, stepping inside this one-off, you're met with a dual-tone dashboard with white and black and a chunk of carbon fiber trimming separating the two. The seats are also wrapped in white, and there's absolutely zero compromise on its luxurious appeal. Interestingly, the Will.i.AMG is still just a 2022 Mercedes-AMG GT under its hood. Packing a 3-liter inline-6 motor capable of roaring up to 429 horsepower, this bad boy will reach an impressive top speed of 174 miles per hour while going from 0 to 60 in a swift 4 seconds. And as the cherry on this really creatively customized cake, all of Mercedes' 3 pointed star badges have been replicated with a mouth-open bear, the most creative customization to end the most mind-blowing custom car collection ever. And with that, guys, we've reached the end of today's video. What we've just gone through is the car collection equivalent of a concept album, really. Critics call them ugly, fans call them genius, and however you look at it, one word best describes what Will.i.am has done to his collection: bold. So bold, it's literally irreplaceable. What could be more unique than that?